we looked into these SAS and Mixins and what they actually were, and I'm going to show you how we can actually start using them in Ionic. And I'm going to use the Mixin we'll use last time, and it's going to be one of the last one. So in my home, I'm just going to create an H1 real quick. So we have some content here. We're going to use Lars's words of cheese, well, Ost in this case. So make sure that it's being printed over here. So we have Wust. In my variable and in my home, I'm going to add some things now. So last time when we did this this Mixin here, in this case we're going to put it into the variable, so it's kind of a global settings now. So if we were to use this over and over, we could. And how to start a Mixin? You start with this and use the Mixins. Oops, not without the X. And I'm just gonna call this box, and I think I called it Soren in the last one, and now right now it's just going to be called box. Here I am going to use my parentheses to again open this to get ready for the arguments we're going to be using. And I'm going to assign some height, and we're going to use variables for this. So box, whoops, box, what was that? H, and we're going to use the width as well. That's going to be that one, and box W, and then we're going to do the background color as well. So background color, that one, and BG color, like this. So now we have our Mixin ready here. We're going, remember, you need to put these as arguments up here, so make sure you have that as well. And then copy the last one. So right now we have our Mixin and it's ready to go. So this is basically just a constructor that's being built in here in our CSS. It's not doing anything right now, it's just ready to being used, and we're going to invoke it in our home SAS. So in this file, this component right here, we're going to actually use it. And we created an H1 in our home over there. What we need to actually do to invoke this is we need to do the include. Oh, sorry, I need to do the add tag on a Mac, like this, include. It already knows what you're doing, and we're going to include the box here. And right now we're going to create values for it to pass into the Mixin over there. So we're going to add a, let's say, 100 pixel. I can't remember what the first one was, but it doesn't really matter, and 50, and a color. So let's go some aqua blue, aquamarine I think it's called. And that's actually it. So click save, and let's see over here if it changes anything. So now you can see we actually have a using CSS to kind of work in the same way you're using with your TypeScript when you're calling things, moving them around and everything. It's the same way it works. So we have our, like you would over here with your joke setups and so on, you just created an H1. And there's no style for this, and in our variables we created a Mixin that we can now use globally. So if we had the same design for a box or a card or whatever, we can reuse this all over the page, all over the app, by just passing in the things into this box and using it. So we have height, width, background colors, and then we're using inside the specific component. Then we're just adding the include, the name of the again the constructor here, or the Mixin, and then we're passing in the arguments here, and then it's going to print them out. And that's a really cool way to start structuring everything. So again, we can have different things and different pages, so design by doing this, or we can also add them as a global thing. But that's really how you need to start working again with everything in Ionic. Everything is connected like this. So try to do this and try to change your design so you're using these things.